Absolutely, and what's interesting about that is SAD has 2 losses. One was against Shopify Rebellion Black, the head-to-head that put them in promotion relegation, and the other was yesterday up against Prosperity Esports. So them picking into it here as we jump into the pistol, as we jump into the action, will determine the stakes of the game.
Go, go,
Oh, speaking of stakes of the game, let's see how this first round plays out. It's a sneak mission from Burger Boys to start things off. There is a defensive Viper wall dividing out near the small door, but it's yet to come up. All the while, though, it's Welly. And the face check away on A site. A simple prowler will give the plot away, but Welly's able to survive for at least one. Nanners is gone, and on the attack, no smokes for the post plant. That's not a good start for Burger Boys. Oh, but look at this though. That was able to continue it on forwards. As the spike goes down, things will continue on forward. 3 left alive for the defenders as things continue to heat up. But all of SAD, they have to continue to rotate. They're just waiting for Burger Boys to make their next move.
Oh, plant goes down, and that move's immediate here, Keg.
Oh, but it continues on forwards. Derwin again, we're looking at his raise, one of the best of his arsenal. Leaves it down to Sean Dex, a monster from yesterday, to see if this pistol can finally go in SAD's favor to start off this best of 3, but unfortunately doesn't.
Yeah, Bonnie sliding in fast there, confident, take the engagement, doesn't even worry about the pistol round plant until after the fact, and that is going to be the Burger Boys' initial round. And honestly, it's settling into that A fight, no real shocker, no real surprise there. We're going to see that time and time again, buy or not, out of both of these teams. So a great way just to set the standard, like, hey, we're going to be using our breach, we're going to be using our neon to get up in your face, but coming into the buy, no surprises here either. No stinger forces, no antics, it's just your outlaw, your bulldog, and confidence to roll up towards this C exec.
I really like on this map how we've seen more neons just rock the outlaw for rounds 2 and 3. You get that extra slide chase, you are able to get so much extra distance, and if you're Bonnie, you get the opening pick. That C side completely unlocked outside of Style. No smokes have come up just yet. Style is seemingly willing to give away the entirety of site.
I mean, you have to. You want to play with numbers. You don't want Style getting overwhelmed here. And you have the pop ready out of Waterfall immediately as well.
Well, we've seen how retakes at this level can go on C-side. They always go pretty well. But with a body down, make that 2. A weapon disadvantage heavily against SAD. At least 1 left alive, and that's Derwin. But not for much longer, Zobi.
Absolutely, and I watched a little VCT content piece where they're asking who's worse, Odin abusers or Outlaw abusers, and we've jotted another tally down, I'm sure, for the SAD players after what Bonnie brought into that round. 3 kills found. Just, again, I think SAD couldn't have played that better from the eco perspective, but this is where things start to matter. Welly, this Odin, lethal. Getting this full buy through, important, because we mentioned, I think Jaya did on the desk, that 0-7 start they had against Prosperity. They turned around their act real quick thanks to Styles timeouts, but it was too late to come back, and they lost that in that over T12-14. So get on the right track now. They're good, they're golden, and we'll be set. But that's the question mark that we have, and that's where we look towards players to try and open like Welly, but it's actually Bonnie to shatter the silence through stairs. No smokes.
Okay. Sure, why not? And you mentioned Team Odin abuse versus Team Outlaw abuse. We get a healthy dose of both into this round. Welly tries to assassinate Bonnie, but it's Bao to save the day. This insurgence directly onto the site has not gone well for Burger Boys just yet, but of course, I may have yapped a little too early. Retro Q is looking fantastic. Leaves it down to just the coach. The last one left on a full rifle round. This is not the round you want to lose. Plenty of rifles can be picked up now by Burger Boys.
Now, the coach in the hot seat. 1v3 here. Still weapon in hand, and they didn't overaggress too much. Just Welly's Odin being handed over, but this breach till so oppressive.
Style has come in as the last second replacement from yesterday. It was Doggo instead that took on the Omen role. Style though, nearly good for 1, okay. Gave me a mini heart attack, lost 10 years of my life, but Style on the other hand, good at dividing out the 1v1s. Retro Q is playing for the delay, a Seize is out, and the Odin finally makes its appearance, a 3K for Retro Q. And Burger Boys are looking pretty dang good going to this attack.
Yeah, I said that was the round you did not want to lose if you were SAD Esports, and losing an impactful player like Jarwin handing over the Odin. And if you notice, they never took an unsupported util fight on the side of Burger Boys, and that's where a player like Tillo is going to shine. They were the highest rated player on this team just because of the support utility they brought in. And they were instrumental as well in shutting down Shopify Rebellion Gold specifically on this map, because they couldn't get that position the movement that they wanted. It shuts down players like Jerwin, and it ultimately ultimately is what put them ahead in that round. So now, I mean, yeah, you've broken the economy, carry the Outlaw forward if you're Bonnie yet again, and you go towards the site that's even harder to retake with a weapon differential. It's just slow seaside lean, respect any eco play that may be attempted at SAD, but otherwise resume standard operations.
And this is the side that you would think SAD would dominate on the most. They have to stall from the Omen, you have Sean Dex's utility, a Viper wall at that, and yet Burger Boys have been great at capitalizing these opening fights.
Ooh. A little slower approach. Style here with those heroic kills does sport the Stinger by, trying to force up off Thorns. Sure, nobody made it in on that wall getting triggered, but in the meantime, it's actually a revolving door play to re-clear B main. They just spray down the box, they spray down Bow, and now they fake the B rotate, and we're expecting a late C pop.
Now keep in mind too, Burger Boys, they should be somewhat aware, but they don't know exactly how bad the economy is for SAD. The best weapon this team has is a Stinger going into this defense. And yet we go to B-side again, Styles left on an island. It's gonna be up to now Jerwin to maybe make some heroics happen, but as I say that, a spray through the smoke and Nanners takes the upper level space. It's a lockout for SAD.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge kill to find with Bow, no toxic screen on the B site, so like them occupying this space, and this feels like a die to the spike and go play exits out of SAD right now. And the difficult part is that your coach is in the game, right?
Yes.
So they don't have that outside perspective. They can't be the one to pull that emergency stop button, and we're definitely entering emergency territory. Bonnie is trying to clean up the loose ends alongside Tillo. It should be done and dusted.
Well, that's hello, Welly. Okay. But that's the big question, right, going into this. Now that you have your coach actively playing in the server with you, they still have that macro idea about how these teams play. Are we going to see a quicker timeout, or are the timeouts going to be much more delayed than they normally would be?
I will say, in both the SRG game, where, I mean, you had, like, extensive OT, I think 30-round game on Corrode, we had a close double digits Lotus. The timeouts from Style were slow and in between. I think Welly even stepped in at one point to call one for the team. So I think they already are kind of more reserved in that environment, trusting in SAD's development in the calls. And again, it came too late, and that's where I feel like we're trending towards here, and despite it being SAD's pick. So I'm hoping we'll get one soon. If they lose this rifle round, it has to be now.
Yeah, if this rifle round doesn't go well for SAD, it makes it a little bit more of a doomsday scenario for the defense. But look how lock and key this defense should be for C-Site. Sean Dex has made sure this should be impenetrable. But if we've seen how someone like Jerwin likes to approach a site and just does not care about what utility's in the way, that might be tough to see. You have to shut down Bonnie, who's on the attacking side. He slides right on in without any troubles in the world. A Nightfall comes in right away. Sean Dex is there to shut down Bonnie and get a wealth of information in the process. Fortunately, though, not long for this world. It's another retake for SAD that they need to accomplish on this rifle round, if they even get that far. The spike has not gone down yet, and yet with 2 left alive, only inside Waterfall, Welly has to keep this rifle alive. But with a triple swing available now, still no spike in the ground. I'm not sure if Welly will even have the opportunity to survive if he wants to.
Ooh. And I liked the Nightfall, I liked the reflood attempt. Unfortunately, kills don't go your way. You get a bit fragmented, and it's all down on this player. Ugh. And that's where, again, SAD has to be on the same page. They need to be ready to invest these ultimates, take those dives, and that's where Burger Boy is. I mean, you've already got the fast food and the delivery chain in quick sync, and that comes out of this team never taking a break, right? Because they only got 1 win in a season, because they were eliminated so early. They spent all that downtime playing your fun havers, your shark attacks, and I think that's what's showing right here, right now. No timeout for SAD just yet. I'm hoping that we don't see an overinvestment of the Steel Garden or the Showstopper into this round unless they're, you know, many percentage chance of winning. In the meantime, Burger Boys, they look unstoppable, and opening towards A, opening towards C, it does not matter. And this time it might. A 4-stack? Well, taking early contact?
Oh, it's a big fight outside Rubble. SAD, the best weapon on the team outside of Jerwin with the Vandal investment, already falls. Viper wall's up above. Burger Boys taking their time, but with a spray through that wall, it's nothing to Practo. That's the 2 best weapons on SAD gone.
They wait for the toxic screen cycle to go through. They wait to respond to SAD's movement to the top out of the smoke.
1 enemy remaining.
Okay, Bow, making sure this is no longer a flawless round from Burger Boys. Sean Dex is the last one left. Not only is this a dub for Burger Boys, but it'd be a gigantic one if they can somehow panic invest the Steel Garden in the process.
No.
Won't be the case though, thankfully, but 0-6 for Burger Boys. This is such a tempo setter.
Absolutely, and this is where Sad should be taking that timeout because honestly, yeah, attacks at a 3-site map, Copium and all, but again, it was 0-7 that they struggled to come back. They had to push it to OT, and that did come out of some heroic rounds, and that's where my question goes to, okay, what side did they start on up against Prosperity on Lotus? And that was the attack, Keg. Now they're having a slow start on the defense.
I have the spike.
Yeah, kind of like, it's the opposite of what the desk was talking about, right? Like, we've seen a lot of teams just dominate on this defensive side. We saw struggles with it yesterday from every team that played Lotus. It was those choke points. That was the biggest ordeal. But Sad, they're willing to give these choke points away to Burger Boys, but the problem in doing that is that they need to rely on those retakes, and they just have not been able to win their 1v1s.
Absolutely. Bonnie, they're highlighted in the duelist head-to-head, just has not gotten shut down, and that's your coin toss consistency player as well when Burger Boy has the support players that step up in his stead, and even now, just challenge the Vice Domain head-on, realizing they haven't captured water.
Oh! Alright, Shondex, that's what I like to see. That's Bonnie gone. Your way of fast introing into a site's no longer available. Burger Boys might have to bring themselves back and audition a different site. Pillow seems to be looking the B side to do with us, so, and Jerwin's gone, no more showstopper to worry about. And guess what? It just continues on forwards. There's a Steel Garden now. Nanners uses this as a distraction to get on the C site. But all the while, though, a 3v3. Finally now, this is an even game. But Shondex, having used his ult already, needs to hide away and rely on Welly's cover fire to maybe gain some extra space. Retro Q gets that spike into the ground.
Oh.
One enemy remaining.
Players again, Fragment and Nanners, you mentioned, they're the one that entry. They also are getting offensive, getting active, pushing through, and just insult to injury to make sure Shondex doesn't get the 1v3 clutch. You're gonna invest Practo's Steel Garden as well, and ultimately, it just feels like Sad Esports is running into a brick wall. They look like they haven't made any adjustments, even that round, right? Yeah, I'll say it's a little, I'd say out of the ordinary for Tillo, your reach to be lurking, but I'm kind of with it, because you can still support from that far away, fault line extends, and number two, because you saw the breach, because you took that engagement against German, you're able to bait out the entire Steel Garden from Shondex on the opposite site, right? That radius does not cover C, and that's exactly when Burger Boys took the opportunity to scale up, so again, they're never repeating the same sites, they're always keeping it fresh, so that Sad also cannot make that much needed adjustment, and when they do, they finally head towards A. Status, luckily, position Shondex, that player we highlighted as make or break for Sad, gonna get tested once again.
Wall comes up. Welly infests the Haunt. That's the only scan info utility that Sad has to offer. A lockdown, or so it would seem, with Shondex's utility on A site. Nothing but Sheriffs, though. Sad are banded together. Everyone not on A site taking a forward position, looking for a fight. Belly spraying through the door, hoping to at least get some sort of chip damage.
Once they hit the go button, though, it could be lethal, right? Overdrive online, if they even need it. Already getting through both Vice Thorns as well. Only thing they rely on is an Arc Rose and a Reclear off the Fade utility, and even then, they're just waiting out all these pieces of utility underneath it.
Oh, relay bolt into Bonnie doing Bonnie things at the meltdown once more. A Phantom available. Bonnie on a tear is waiting. He is looking for that fight. And Bao has to play this so carefully. Jerwin and Bao, a dynamic duo, clear away A site. But there's still one more left. That was the not-so-lurking Tillo. And finally, a defuse.
I don't know if Jerwin DC'd there with the round, and we're good to go anyways. A handoff to defuse because he just invested the showstopper off of a Thrifty. Sad Esports will be able to get there first, and honestly, I think the scales tipped as soon as Bao got a timing out of that stairs smoke, right? You overwhelm the one player while the rest are execing. When we saw that coordination between Bonnie and between Practo to clear out backside, you cleared out Welly, you cleared out Jerwin, and I think that gun that was handed over, you drew eyes and the showstop. It was gorgeous, we'll say. That's the coordination, the sync up that we needed to see out of them, and sometimes it does come out of, the scrappiest situations. So signs of life for the time being, but a lot of work to be done if they want a close half one they can turn around once they're on the attack. And they've gotten the confidence back fighting heavily off this season for towards A main.
The problem though is that SAD had a lot of supply and strangely demand on A side too for Burger Boys to push into them. If Burger Boys just retract and towards C and B side, they might face a lot more difficulties getting back a retake.
This is an interesting switch up from Burger Boys as well. Not as gun-ho, as not as pedal to the metal, claiming space early on. And on a buy round, I'll say. Ecos, they did their due diligence, they waited out any aggressive pop play, say mound, say B pillar, B main. But now they kind of were shut out over towards A. They've gotten the deposit that SAD Esports likes to have, style this case, over towards Rubble. My question is, when does the reclear come through? We're already sub a minute here, Keg, and I don't see any inkling of a direction yet.
No, very important ping on the map. Welly bought out a Prowler. It was pinged out on B site. He's forced to rotate. Do you think they're just waiting for Welly to use all of his utility and go to the opposite site?
They almost had the soul read there. Haunt comes back online and they don't use that to reclear A main either, so all they have to rely upon is style in this jump peek, and now Nightfall feels too far away to counter the site take. I'm worried Jerwin and Style could get overwhelmed here.
Prakto's still on C site. He's on the opposite side of the world. Razorvine destroyed. A Haunt brought out on B site. Seemingly no one on SAD has any idea where the attack's going to come in from. Suddenly, though, Bonnie brings up a wall. No one can see a dang thing on the site. Nightfall's brought out, but does not capture Bonnie. Well, he has his Odin. He's got his Prey, and most certainly Prey to find some sort of impact. And yet, through it all, Spike is still ticking away. But SAD, they're biding their time. They're waiting to push in. Well, he's looking for a jump peek opportunity, and while Viper brings down her pit directly onto the site to cover the spike, Nanders is there to shut down everyone from Baby Door. And through it all, SAD, they haven't found a way to get on site yet. They've invested so much, and through it all, not a single fight was won.
What? And now it's just Shondex again, tucking tail, maybe buying in the save as the time is going to expire here momentarily, and all he gets is, that's all he'll bring down to the grave with him. An 8th round for Burger Boys, a substantial lead now, nearly guaranteed unless we get another back-to-back thrifty out of SAD Esports. And like you mentioned, they invested everything they had. On the other hand, Burger Boys look like they're on easy mode, stockpiling these ultimates, and they second-guess themselves, right? I look back to Welly, had the right call on the A main space, had the Nightfall ready, rotates over, and then he still uses it late once 3 players are already out on site. It only catches off Nanners, which didn't have much impact because they waited so long that SAD didn't get to clear blue room, and we saw how that went, completely mowed down in terms of numbers. It's just really, really rough, and I mean, hey, Thrifties can get the job done with kills like that.
Look at that change of pace. That's what I want to see. Welly, there we go. There is SAD. They finally woken up. And we saw this yesterday too. A very slow first half for this team on Lotus. And when they were awake, my God, were they up. Nanners, though, is going to shut down Style, but a trade does nullify it. 2v1. Back in it, baby.
Some little duo coordination there between Shondex and Bao. I like to see it. Little high-low. She couldn't get the trade schedule through the clutch for Burger Boys. And yeah, 8-4 is kind of the minimum I think you want in this situation if you're SAD Esports after a start like that. And again, you might get a German showstopper, you might get a Shondex Steel Garden if you're lucky by the end of this half if they pop off, but you're entering this half grand finale for Burger Boys as well. Bonnie, have we seen an overdrive this half? I think he's had that since like round 2 or 3 out of his outlaw. He hasn't.
You're saving it for Nico.
Exactly, and I mean, at this point, I'm expecting them just use this tooth and nail to fight into the ace site, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting the B exec to maybe use that overdrive, but at that point, it's like, well, we'll just save it for when we need it. The problem is, though, Burger Boys have just looked so confident they haven't needed it. Derwin's already taken so much damage. He's forced to back away. He can't take that forward fight.
Really nice Haunt did give them super early information, though. I think 3 players got pinged out, so SAD has the hefty rotation. Even the Vice here, right, away from their C-site stronghold. So as soon as Swung Thunder's gone, they're going to be fighting back immediately, but that's why they're taking deep space, deep fights, Keg.
Oh, but Zobi, Burger Boys have only lost on A site, and yet they're taking this opening fight, not removing German, who's still at 20 HP. This forward aggression has looked good from Bonnie and co. They've been able to play around and make sure some of that util's been gone. Prakto's gone as well. This has been Bao's time to shine. He's been a retake demon here on A, but now finally the overdrive makes an appearance. It's just a matter of seeing, can Bao work his magic again? No, but Jerwin's there to save it just a little bit. 20 HP, met with a high-low. It's Burger Boys to secure their 9th.
Burger Boys, I previously praised them never taking a fight unsupported by utility. Now it's never unsupported by your teammates, except for the Bonnie show. That's the exception. They're your duelists. They can go just kill W key at the opponent, especially with that overdrive online. So again, incalculable room for error there in who can fight and when. And the speed in which they aggressed drop and then also got back once they realized, okay, we're losing the turf war. We need to play this together. Super, super effective there in the post-plant calling. So all this to say, Burger Boys get up to 9. That ideal minimum for Sad now lost, and all they can hope for. Wasn't it a 3-9 copium that got them to overtime last time, Keg?
I think
Against
so.
BRS? Yeah.
And look, the Bonnie channel is the only reason why I still have cable, so I'm always enjoying watching him play. Just a matter of seeing now if we can see the heroics happen once more. Not on A this time, instead on B. Fast execute to put a bow tie on this round, and we've seen the abuse against the Vice Wall so many times. Welling, of course, caught off guard. It's Jerwin to try to reclaim some of that glory.
Here we go. Last round by shoddy at best, and that's Bonnie again just getting up in your face, trying to buy down time, even if it's in exchange for his life, and chip damage onto Bao, that heroic player you highlighted, Keg. So he's down to 8 HP, definitely a worthy trade. Easy for Tulip to finish off at least.
Everyone's at 1 HP when it comes to headshots.
Oh,
no. Showstopper found nothing. Truly, truly unlucky. Nanners backs out, does not want to deal with anything. Oh my lordy lord.
wow. And honestly, it's just, again, that round completely put on hold by Tillo and his utility. I don't know if you saw anything. It was an Aftershock paired with those Razor Vines that completely shut down Jerwin's Showstopper. And again, that's what I mentioned. We saw signs of in that Shopify Rebellion Gold game where Donut, right now, second highest rated player, mind you, even though they've been eliminated from that promotion contention, just was completely shut down by the breach. Did not get to get active like she likes to do. So all this shows, okay, they're learning, and you mentioned the A changes that they've made even during this half, and they're just improving each round after round, coming with perfect counters in the moment to what Sad is trying to do. And that's what's led them now to this 10-2 half at the switch, where Sad, yeah, this is a time I think where you can talk. You have a little bit longer, but at this point, you start looking towards a set, which, hey, Shondex is the key to a set. So if he's not awake after this map, that we could be seeing trouble, but don't count your eggs before they hatch, because pistol round, Keg, a 10-2 comeback. Let's see it in the making.
I mean, Shondex has been on a tear so far in promo relegation, but this has been a quieter game from him. I wouldn't say it's too late for Sad, though. You're trading out a Viper for a Breach. It's just a matter of utilizing this wall for the late lurks. Baby doors opened up now, and Bonnie may be trapped in the corner. Burger Boys and company, they gotta clear out every corner despite the smokes, and yet Bonnie remains invisible. That's one for him. Shondex again, magnifying glass, have to watch over him, burnt in the sun like an anthill. It's gonna be 2 left alive for the attackers. And what can you do? You're separated out, Zobi. 50 seconds are left.
You stabilized on a 2v3 here. You have a sight under wraps, but it almost feels like it's been gifted by Burger Boys at this point, right? They're kind of want that solidification. They want that information. They don't want to be caught off guard here, and that responsibility falls to Cracto now on Link.
Okay, there it is, a frenzy going up against that. The worst pistol probably to go up to in that engagement. 7 HP left. There's really nothing Bao has, literally nothing in his arsenal to take an advantage here.
Oh, and now they know exactly where the plant location comes through. And again, they're playing this smart, and enters there's an ego because they're at HP. They wait for Retro.
There it is, one headshot. Plenty of damage against Nanners. Bao's got to play this safe. It's certainly winnable. A miracle moment may be needed for Sad. The Nanners. Oh no! Had so much to work with! And Bao wins the fight, bringing Sad back in!
Oh, and you'll take small wins. You'll take dance parties where you can. Again, that pistol was required in order to give Sad at least a chance at a comeback here, and won't call it that until we're a little bit closer, but this buy is instrumental. Guardians, Bulldog, Outlaw, they have to have this round not just be won, but cleanly so. Because at this point, even any round loss is just basically the kiss of death. So I'm gonna be looking towards how many weapons they keep, how many they carry over, and particularly towards Bao, right? Share still in hand. They're gonna buy a rifle next as long as they win.
Viper Wall has yet to come up. Jerwin on the
There.
aim duel. Keep in mind, too, Jerwin and Jondex, well, and Bao, too, I suppose, they're going to have a lot more extra pressure to get these kills. Sad and Doggo didn't find the most impact in the killing department on this map. It's been a consistent factor for Sad. Bao, though, opening pick, has been able to do so. Sad needs to implement all this utility now as they execute directly onto the site. Retro's the only one available, and yeah, he's got utility. He's got the hidden powers of the classic. But even then, Sad, they've looked good at taking site control. Nothing but a classic and a sheriff left. Burger boys, they have the rounds to spare to investigate and see how Sad like to play this out.
Well, Sad get the round. It's bloody, it's battled. A little disconnected as a result. They lose a few more rifles than I was hoping for, again, with that buy-up, because you're looking for continuance, you're looking for a hot streak of rounds that you can tie together here. And I do think that with Bao coming alive right now, top fragging, being that player that picks up the Phantom here, especially as one of your primary lurk players, they're going to be the one to look to, I think, to open up this round, because you're not going to win a head-on fight, which is what they're paying out for this East site, which makes me a little worried, I will say, but we'll see if they can still supersede here. In the meantime, it's a pretty standard breach Neon Omen trifecta takeover towards A that we'll see. Bao just calming as he follows through on this B start.
You know, I would say this is anything but calming. I think Lotus is a calming plays, but I think if you're going against two very brawly teams like this, it's anything but. Fractal, of course, the nerves are high. He's good for two. That's going to be a complete shutdown. Oh, I thought it would be over from there. No. Everyone on Burger Boys, they said, we got rifles. It's over. But Welly's able to lick his wounds and back away. You've lost your smokes. You've lost your entry ability from Jerwin. Zobi, I think C-Site is a bust. You have to rely on Bao's wall and A-Site.
Yeah, that was rough. I mean, Omen TP's up solo with the spike, trying to pick up the pieces of the broken Jerwin entry. When you want those to be in sync, typically, if you're not going to trip the wall beforehand and go for the late exec. And they're lucky, I'll say, that Welly's quick-footed movement is able to recover the spike, but at what cost? Super, super low HP here. Fortunate enough to have the regen shield, fortunate enough to have now the 3v5, but the exec is what has to follow through, and I don't think they have enough left in the tank to do that.
No, 12 HP. Welly does have a haunt. You can't fake it over towards A-Site at this time. Everyone's solidified into positions, waiting for the peek. It's Fractal for 4. Could this be an ace? No, Bonnie says not today.
Oh, I mean, I said you got to challenge Fractal head on, and unfortunately, 4 kills strong. Again, just not carrying enough weapons over for that bonus attempt, and now, I mean, it's do or die. You lose this round, you won't have weaponry. It'll be Burger Boys up to map point on your pick. And I mean, Burger Boys also with that 4K for Practo, one off from the Steel Gardens, so this round they may be able to invest that as well to deny their rifle round. They're set up really, really well to start closing things down, and again, Sad just very stable in their approach, unwavering, and when you're down 4-11, that's not kind of mentality you want to be having. So again, just the standard C-Site start, see what they took away. Bao's been a little bit more active here towards A. That's a change, Keg.
Oh, it is! And that's the lurk gone. And yes, you do lose a player, but plenty of information's been gained off of that. Guess what? Nobody else A. It's gotta be a C or B execute. And we're certainly not seeing anybody on B. Smokes are down, the blast packs are in, Jerwin makes his stride, but Fracto shuts it down again. What do you have left now? Same position as before, Sad. Their most played map, by the way, in Stage 3. Completely washed away in the tides of Lotus once more. 4 to now almost 12.
Wow. And honestly, again, it comes back to, I sound like a broken record, the breach util. If you notice, they fixed the issue I said, the Omen Raze entry desync as we get to that inevitable map point, but I think it was an aftershock. You noticed that cut style, so again, it separated them, so they didn't have that full force of the entry after they, again, put in the work to clear out the Vice util that time around. So even when Sad are making strides and making development, they've just come too late. And now, I mean, look at the broken buy that follows in its wake, Keg.
I'm, you know, certainly not on the analyst desk, but I think the implementation of the utility that Sad needs to rediscover on this map needs to be looked into going to the next season. Welly and Style, they've been great in the fragging department. Sort of. But I gotta say, usually, sure. Very diplomatic way of saying that, but I mean, I just want to see it all be more cohesive in the future. But it's not over just yet. Practo's been great about locking, keying out this mat on this site. The Seize is out on top of the nade combo. Do like the utility brought out there. Jerwin makes his entry in with a showstopper, but he's just too far out to connect against anybody.
Welcome to my world.
All right.
Spike planted.
This is nice for Sad. They finally broke the mold on the C side. You know, third time's the charms. They had the pit up and they had Jerwin fight forward for one, but he needed to get out untraded because then still set us on a 4-on-4 where you're down in the weapons department.
Glad you mentioned that. Practo no longer able to use the Steel Garden into this round. The biggest retake tool that Burger could have relied on, not there. Tillo, though, needs to get 2 kills here to use a Rolling Thunder to shut this out. Viper's Pit is up from Foul and gives plenty of space for Sad to work with into the post plant. Style falls, smokes are gone. 3 left alive for the attacking front, all off site. They have to rely on the pit. Pit's not there. It's going to be up to Nanners to hope for the best.
Whoa.
With the defuse, not available anymore. Sad have done it. They've saved themselves from the brink.
Eco Demons. I mean, at this rate, half the rounds have been on half buys. That pit did a lot of work. The Vice Util was also excellently placed to try and deny the Bonnie Reflood, to deny Burger Boys easily getting access back to that site. And even then, when they realize, okay, we're losing the turf war, we're losing because they have better weapons, the reframing around Mound to play down the timer, to play down the remaining players, and frankly, throw that Steel Garden into the mix is what gets them across the finish line. Now, 7 more of that just for overtime is a steep ask, as we see again Burger Boys just charging up round after round. 2 ults online, 1 off the Rolling Thunder. That's the moment we start believing, when they shut down those ults, and maybe coming this round or next.
I mean, there was a huge reliance on Shondex and Bao's ults that last round. Won't be able to use that on A. Not a lot of information was found off the hands of the... the Hunt hasn't even been used on A site yet from Welly. Do they know there's a war ahead of them? It might not matter. Jerwin and Welly, they've woken up. They've seen the alarm clock, and it's certainly not 5:12 o'clock. Jerwin makes his way back in. Bonnie hides behind the Viper wall. He's out there, a surprise for sure. But even then, on A site, it's a meltdown from Bao to take A site control. And Sad, they may be officially back.
Wow. I mean, again, okay, once we see, no ults on the side of Burger Boys, I'll say that Sad is back. But for the time being, a really, really clean round. It feels like they more just caught Burger Boys off guard one time on that A-hold, right? The paranoia was in place. It just came seconds too late after Jerwin got that timing, right? Ahead of, again, the stack there. Had his POV, we would have seen probably a clean transfer at that to be able to find both of those before the paranoia comes out as well. So that, plus the really quick follow-up from Sad, really, really clean. That coordination you were asking for coming through, maybe shining through, starting to come back. Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. But there is a small problem, Zobi. There are 4 ults that Burger Boys have where they can just completely give up any site they want and retake with all of them.
I think that's exactly what they're doing, right? That's why they're committing forward to this A take, forward to this A hold, and trusting number 1 in Practo, who's already anchored C site pretty handily. And then you see them slowly migrate over once contact, once sound, once util like a bomb on a Prowler invested.
We'll have to see if Practo is going to go for that Steel Garden early. Both these Vices have been pretty good at not doing so.
Okay. I think though Sad understand that, what you mentioned, the win condition of just giving us a site, playing the retake. That's why they're seeking for these over-aggressive players. Ones maybe peeking out, trying to close the map early. In the meantime, just again, default find an opening, and my concern is that we're at 45 seconds left and it doesn't feel like they're on the same page. We've seen this before. Issues, they have diverging paths, not on the same page, and as with these splinters will stick possibly in Burger Boy's favor.
I like that. And speaking of splinters, a wooden box is the only thing protecting Nanner's
30
life.
seconds left.
It was a Prowler, a Haunt dedicated, forced to back away with a Shrouded Step. Donix is now gone, and Nanners might have the spray of a lifetime, and he does! A 3K to shut down Sad. 19 seconds left, a 4K for Nanners, the A-site demon, and that's all she wrote. A beautiful first map from Burger Boys.
Did not even have to use any of those grand finale ultimates. Like, that was just the interlude, and I can speak probably for Liz and Dry that this is not how we expected this map to go to any degree.